Hello, good morning. How are we doing today? Good, good. All right, good. So first thing first, welcome to Argos Dominica. It's a pleasure to have you at our facility. That's actually where we operate. That's actually where we do all our bagging. As you could see, our storage area. All right, so it's a pleasure to have you here today. First things first, obviously, safety. We do have some safety gear to the left there. We have dust masks. Generally, we require that you wear dust masks, your headgear. And if you are really getting into the action, at the end, we'll be doing a trial outside. You also have eyewears and disposable gloves, which you could wear. In terms of safety in case of an emergency, evacuations, as you see, we have three exits. One to my left at the back, that will be to your right. That's our major exit, our main exit. To your left, that's my right, and to the back. So generally, in case of an emergency, we need to evacuate, we proceed towards the front. Basically, when you came in, that's basically the way you have to go, because if you go this way, there's a river. If you go this way, there's the sea, and if you go this way, there's a fence. Okay, so naturally we progress towards your left. Okay, through the main exit to your left. So today we are there to demonstrate and introduce our new soluble bags. We refer to them as disintegratable bags. And one will be doing the main presentation on these bags. Also, we'll hear from Dion. Dion is our international sales advisor. He'll also be giving some comments, and we'll also do a trial towards the end. So once we've done all the presentation, we have given you all the information, we'll proceed outside to do a trial on the back. So I'd really like for you guys to remain to see the actual trial. So in there, we will do the presentations by Dion, by one. We also have our entire Argos staff who's providing support. So if you have any questions, you need any clarifications, obviously they'll be happy to assist you on that. Obviously, at the end of the event, I would call it an event, where's lovely Moisha? All right, she's there, and lovely Christina, they agreed that they will provide us with some snacks. So also that will be available at the end of the event. Obviously, we have Dion. Where's Dion? All right, right there. Dion is our international sales advisor. He's going to do a presentation. Also, he's the one, if you have any concerns about the product, if you have any information, please feel free to share that with him. Okay? So once again, welcome, and I thank you for your participation in this trial, in this introduction of this new product. Thanks. Yeah. Both of them. I need both of them. Thanks.
Technical difficulties. Morning, everyone. As Chris mentioned, my name is Dion McCurdy. I'm the International Trade Advisor for Argos Antilles. Before we get into the presentation, what is happening? Okay. Yes, I would just like to talk a little bit more about Argos and our role in sustainability. My presentation is very basic. It's just to give you a little history, if you will, on Argos and what we do in the environment. Sustainability is something that we hold very close to the chest here at Argos. We want to be able to preserve our environment for future generations to come. Just to give you some basic numbers, in Dominica, we sold 412,000 bags, the regular bags, last year alone, which equates to just about 48 tons of waste that went to the dumps. So with this new initiative, that will gradually, because it's not something that we're going to change today for today, it's going to be over time, and we will gradually replace sending all those bags to the dump, because you can put the bags, as one will explain in this presentation. Argos has 90 years of history in the industry. We arrived in the Caribbean in 2009 in St. Martin, St. Thomas, Antigua and Dominica. We have presence in 16 countries and territories, and we export to 30 countries. That basically means we have operations in 16 countries, but we still serve an additional 30 countries by exports. In keeping with sustainability, we were awarded first place in 2024 on the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, and that is a big feat for a cement company because cement has a very large carbon footprint. We have a capacity of 14.4 million tons that is readily available within all of our operations. We have 4,200 employees in all the areas that we serve, and we have 11 ports and 37 dispatch centers when you total all that we have. I will now show you a very short video that pretty much summarizes and focuses a little bit more on the Caribbean market that we serve.
Did you know that Argos reach extends over countries in the Americas? In 2024, we exported more than 1.4 million metric tons of cement in clinker from Cartagena to key destinations in the Caribbean, Central America, and the United States. But that's not all. In 2024, from 23 international ports of origin, we traded more than 3.2 million metric tons of finished products in key raw materials including clinker, cement, slag, and gypsum. These achievements are made possible by the vertical integration of our business across Americas and an optimized logistics network. Here are some of the markets we served: Antigua, Aruba, Bahamas, Barbados, Bonaire, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Curacao, Dominica, Ecuador, Grenada, French Guiana, Guyana, British Guiana, Haiti, Honduras, Jamaica, Montserrat, Panama, Peru, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, St. Lucia, St. Martin, St. Thomas, St. Vincent, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, Turks and Caicos, the United States, and Venezuela.
Okay, thank you very much. That's my time, and I'll now hand you over to Juan, who will get real meat and potatoes. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Juan Moreno. I work as a technical advisor in Argos for almost 11 years. And yeah, we are very excited today because we are going to show you this new solution that we bring to our clients, and is the disintegrable pack or bag. So as Leon said, Argos has a true commitment to sustainability, the environment, and with innovation also. So that's why we bring this solution which generates no waste in the construction process, and it promotes circular economy. We have tested it, and that's why we can say this: it won't affect the quality of the concrete for using it, or even the performance, the strength, which is very important, and also durability of the concrete mixes. And that's why that happens, because the regular bags are also made with cellulose. These soluble bags are made with cellulose produced in a different way, so that's why they are disintegrable in the process, but they need the gravel and the water to get dissolved. So it's not just because the bag gets in touch with water, it will disintegrate. It needs the stone and the friction with the mixing action of the machine. So how is the process? You take the mixer, you add the water and the stone, doesn't matter which one of those goes first, and then you add the full bag to the mixer and give it some time to get dissolved with the water and the stone, and then you add the sand finally. If you have any admixtures, you can add it with the water at the beginning of the process, and finally you will get the concrete with the disintegrable bag in it. So which are the benefits of these solutions? You will have zero disposal costs because you won't have to take those bags to the dump. You will save in cement. In our research process with this product, we tested that between 1.5 and 2% of the content of the bag stays in the bag. Even if you shake it very well, it's going to stay there. So with this solution, you won't have that waste of cement. It generates no waste in the construction process, as we have been telling you, and it will speed and give you more efficiency because the people don't have to take the bag, tear it, and lift it once again and put it in the mixer. So it will help not only the process, but the people with the physical effort that they have to do. We will have less particulate material in the environment, so that will also help the health of the people which is working with the product, and it facilitates the cleaning of the job site. We are going to show you some results from our research process. These were made in Puerto Rico, but we also have this kind of solution in Colombia. We have been using there for half a year now, maybe, so more or less, and it has been great. We use there a different type of cement, but it doesn't matter. You are going to keep receiving the same cement that you have been receiving so far. And this mix here has a high cement content, as you see, 905 pounds per cubic yard. I don't know which units you use here most, pounds and cubic yards, or cubic meters, kilograms, kg, all of them, okay. So this is a high content of cement and low water content because we have only the 40% of the cement was put into the mix. So we tested that one. We had the results. This is the reference, which is the mix without using the bag. And we have strengths for 1, 3, 7, and 28 days. And we made a trial using the disintegrable bag, this one, and this is the same using the disintegrable bag, but adding a little bit more water to see what happens with the strength. But as you may see, it's basically the same results. Not only with the strength, which is the bars, but with the line, you see the workability. So it's like how the concrete is fluid to pour it in the forms. Another trial was done with a lower quantity of cement, 517 pounds per cubic yard, and with a high water content, which is 70% of that cement was added as water, and here are the results. You have the reference, no bag, using 10 bags per cubic yard, the reference again, and 11 bags per cubic yard. So as you see, results are basically the same. This is a statistical process, so we have variation, but those are the same from my point of view, and the workability doesn't change that much, so we don't see any problem using it. Even if you have high cement content or low cement content, it won't affect the mix. Here we have some questions that we have received. about the shelf life of the product. Is it going to change or not? For the trials that we have done, we have produced some pallets and we have them stored for several weeks, and the quality doesn't seems to be affected by using this integrable bag. If it rains during transportation or when it is placed outside of the store, uh, so as we told you, it won't disintegrate. It needs the mixing action and the coarse aggregate to get that dissolved. Where or in which kind of mixes can you use this product? You can use it for regular concrete, structural concrete, or plain concrete, but we don't recommend it to use it in masonry or mortar. Why? Because as I've been telling you in different times, you need the action of the stone and the mixing and the water to get the bag dissolved. So this, uh, we won't recommend it, but we have done trials. For example, last Monday, we did it in St. Martin, and it went well. We used one bag of cement and 5 parts of, or 5 buckets of sand, and it dissolved. We didn't see the bags, just a few pieces, but it was okay. So I'm not saying you cannot use it. You have to make a trial. Another question we receive is, how much is it going to cost? Is it going to cost more than the regular bags? So at this moment, it is the same price. It's going to be the same price. That was one factor that in the past doesn't allow us to bring this solution before, because the bag had a higher cost, so we couldn't pass it through to the clients. But right now, it has the same cost from the regular bags. And as Dion told you, it's going to be a gradual process of changing from the regular bags to these integrable bags. And now we have a little video from the company, not just the Antilles.
Just like Harry. Ik ben Paris. Je suis des Caraïbes. Ben Paris. Ik ben ook Paris. Amén. We are Paris. Y somos un equipo ganador. Aku langsung selesai. En outre, nous favorisons une croissance rentable. We take ownership. En el Caribe, el cubano es reentrenado y el trabajo en equipo que nos lleva a alcanzar nuestras metas.
Now we will have the demonstration outside. If you want to touch the mix, please get some gloves. And as we finish, we are returning here to for some other maybe questions if you have. I don't know if any one of you has any questions so far. Not, not any. Yeah, that's a very good question. The durability of the bag, and we have done some trials. We have here 2 pallets on every terminal that we have, Antigua, Saint Martin, and Dominica. We brought 140 bags or so, more or less, and we filled them, and we did the trial. It went well so far, so we don't have any much concern to that regard. Any other question? So what I'm going to do there is try to replicate the process that I explained you. I'm going to put the gravel, the water, then I'm going to throw all the bag of cement inside and then put the sand. I'm explaining you once again because as we are going to be there, the noise of the machine is not so good if I'm talking. So let's do and see the trial. ¿Me quedo con este?
If anybody wants to touch it, there's some love.
You wanna touch it or
Already. You want to touch it? All of it? Huh?
so what do you think about it? Sorry about that battery. So first make that the brake button.
What I think you should be looking for to is see if you see any pixel bags or anything.
Yeah, you could see little pieces, but up to 90% is going to dissolve or disintegrate in the mix. So that's why it's very important to follow the instructions, the stone, the water.
Yeah.
But as we finish, we are going to do a new trial with just sand to see how it goes. Because this is a different paper than the last one that we did, which we didn't get the results we were looking for. But this disintegrates really quickly from what I've seen. And we could do the slump test. If you want to, we can take cylinders. Yeah.
What do a slump test? Huh?
We're going to do something that shouldn't be done. Is we're going to use a 3/8 rod. For this trial, it should be a 5/8 rod, but we don't have it right now, unfortunately. So we're going to go with this one. So for this step, you have to fill this stone in 3 layers. Equal volume.
Okay. Honestly, my first place to lunch. How many times you stroke each layer once?
Yeah, good question. We have to stroke it 25 times, each layer.
Much water.
Stamping rod, and you measure from the center, or the originally displayed center of the concrete, to the bottom of the rod, and there you go. You have this lump of the concrete. In this case, should be like 6 inches. It's a really good concrete. Easy to handle, to pour, vibrate, and finish. So that's it. We're going to make the
What is a normally acceptable slump?
How is it?
What is a normally acceptable slump?
Yeah. That will depend on the concrete
The use.
you're doing.
Okay.
For example, if you're working with a pavement, you need just like 4 inches, 3 inches. If you're working with a big machine, maybe 2 inches would be good. But if you are working with a column, for example, which has a lot of reinforcement and everything, and you are not going to be able to vibrate it, you will look for 8 inches, 9 inches, or even a flowable concrete, which is different, the test from this one. So that's what you will look at.
It depends on the use.
For pumpability, for example, you look for 6, 7 inches, and that will also depend on the proportions. Coarse aggregate, the stone, the sand, how much cement do you have in the mixture. There are a lot of variables, but yeah, those are basically.
Okay.
Any other questions? We're going to do the.
So you're going to do a mix with sand only, right? Yeah. Mortar. Kishlem, get another bag for him. Another bag of cement.
So these cylinders, there's a standard procedure. You have to fill them in 2 layers, throw it in each layer 25 times.
Oh, yeah. You don't know working with that.
So this is the appropriate road to use. In this case, 25 times. We should have a small mallet, a rubber mallet, and stamp it on the sides from 12 to 15 times. In this case, I'm doing it with the hand.
Huh? Down with the steam. Yeah, to bring it up. I don't think they like this test. They don't like to test cylinders in the lab. Huh? Yeah.
So we need to go and penetrate the first layer about 1 inch. Because I've seen sometimes the technicians just do this. So it's not
Usually
good.
before you put
Go all the way down and penetrate the first layer. And then just
so it doesn't make the ladder very big.
when you begin to make the cylinder, you have to do it all of them at the same time. And do the first layer in all of them, and then the second layer in all of them. Not doing it just one by one. And next day, we have 24 hours. They are devolved and taken to the lab. This is an additional training. It's long. Cylinder. That's for you guys. Thank you very much. I don't know if we go inside and or we'll keep cleaning it. You want to see the sun?
Don't take it away.
Percy, Percy, take it.
Don't fight, no fight, don't fight.
Oh, jeez.
No, the man's are right. When they work in the dark temple, for what I think. All comes up with us. That would make a
Nobody know if everybody know what they do. So you can stay yourself.
carnaval. So you can make it out. When it's carnaval, nobody doesn't complain about that. Nobody doesn't complain about what I mean. It has no, I like carnaval. I just like it. It's a good time for people to enjoy. I happy people to enjoy. I just keep what they do. Already start that first. Already started. Dion, one question. Me? Yeah. When will be
available for sale here?
That's a good question, but we're supposed to be placing an order soon. Then that's the time frame that it takes to get here. I would say probably in a month. it looks different. We will have the
Yeah.
whole design and all, and you'll be able to tell them apart just by looking at it. Already finalized the design, so it's just a matter of
international trials because not all designs are the same. Yeah, you have to make a balance so you can dissolve because when you are plastering, it's easier to get this, but you will save a lot of time by mixing mechanically. Thank you very much.
I think I can be running for a little while longer. We'll break down.
When you start that will tick up.
The other bags are among the bags we have inside to take care of.
Yeah, that's good. That's the first thing I stood. The good thing, what is the other thing, that the other thing is going to make it quality from in fact,
Yeah.
well, as you said, the material is cellulose material.
Little fine tune. Yeah. Breaking it up. Friction of this time. With the motor now, you have that much friction. You work in the fine tune, but you have friction you're looking towards.
We can go inside and have the QR code, get your feedback, and then we if you have any other questions,
Trust me.
Yeah, well, my name is not that devil is the whole of the city.
No reverse. No advance on them to this.
So, once again, thank you very much for being here, taking part of your time to present not only the presentation, but the two trials. And yeah, thank you very much. Please give us your feedback, scan the code, and have a good day. Yes. Yeah, and we have some refreshments and meal. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Bags. They normally use the bag for to block some holes. So now that bag now, let's assume that you all phase out all the regular bags. Then that'll be a
Yeah.
disadvantage to those
Yeah.
contractors. And also, a lot of our contractors, they mix using hand mix. Some of them is just a shovel. And it will be difficult for this new technology to disintegrate while they're manually mixing the concrete. So a thing I would almost recommend is that do not phase out all the stock of the regular bag here. At least give the local smaller contractors an option to at least get the regular bag.
Okay, yeah. Those are two good questions. And to the first one, I would like to say that's a very different mix. The mix for blocks, it has a very low quantity of water. But on the contrary, it has a very high amount of energy in the mixing because the mixer is really different. You know, it's not this one. It's one with the pallets, and there is a lot of friction between the pallets and the pan of the mixer. So that could work. We haven't done those trials, but it's worth to try it. And with regard to the second question, if what they can do if they are mixing by hand, they they could do it. They could tear the bag and use it the regular way. They won't be having all the benefits from the bag, but we understand that that is really difficult to dissolve or disintegrate the bag by hand mixing. It will take a lot of effort. Yes.
Prepare the forms. They sometimes use pieces of the regular bag to block some holes. Now, with that new system, they won't have that advantage anymore. So they will still might be relying on the regular bag. So that's why I said it to be wise to have some of that in stock.
Okay, that's another good question because you can have this bag, and as I told you, you can tear the paper and put just the cement and remain with the bag and put in those holes because it won't dissolve as easily because it needs the mixing and everything. So you can use it that way. Any other question? Okay, thank you very much and have a good day.
And a special good morning to you, our lovely viewers. This is Team Emonews at the Argos Cement building in Dominica in Canefield, presenting to you less waste, more efficiency. Breakthrough technology is here. The official launching of the My apologies. We are here for the official launching of the disintegratable cement bags. We thank you all for staying tuned in. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And remember, Emonews, every moment online. Good morning.